and stuff is good to go. I'm going to go double check that stuff is working properly. It looks like we are. Should close that. We're a bit laggy, but other than that, we should be fine. I noticed the webcam's a little bit behind, but should be good to go. Anyways, the plan for today's stream is going to be a little bit different than usual, just because we have a bit of new content. As I said, we are going to be a bit laggy. Hopefully that clears up sometime soon. Actually, I should check one thing. Alright, cool. I know at one point I turned up my graphics quality for like a picture or something. I couldn't remember if I ever did that, so wanted to check now. Anyways, so here we are in Backdoor. There's a new NPC in Ghost Simulator. I think we're live. Hello. There's a new NPC in Backdoor in covering a bank perk. Now, this one isn't really something we need since we don't actually have access to any promo or limited event pets, just because we have no trading and we aren't allowed to play events on this account. But it is still a new NPC that we are going to go ahead and do. As you guys can see, I do not have any use for it on this account, but it is still something, a new NPC that we'll go ahead and do. I think it has probably dropped our, it's dropped our overall game completion down from 97 to 96%. So we'll be hopefully regaining that today. Hello, Jazz. Hello, other people. Anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and just start the quest. I can't think of anything else to do beforehand. I think that's good. Alright. And then once we... This quest will probably take us around 2 whole streams to do. That's going to be around 6 hours. I'm expecting it to be a pretty long quest. Like, right off the bat, you guys are going to notice that we're going to need to collect quite a bit of tokens from the main hub. Now, this seems like a lot of tokens, and it is. But the thing is, like, the account I'm playing on right now is about the minimum I'd expect people to have before working on Richard. Just based on the location of the quest, you are required to have antenna level 21. So at least 1 Rebirth to go ahead and access him. But most people, since it is kind of just a side quest, can go ahead and do him a little bit later. Or at least that's the hope. Hopefully not too many new people get confused and try to do him right when they hit antenna level 21. Hopefully they go to Remnant Zone and then stay in Remnant Zone for that. But, you know, if they do get stuck, hopefully this first quest tells them to go get better pets first. But anyways, to go ahead and do this quest, we'll be gathering quite a bit of ectoplasm from main hub. The main goal here is going to be to go ahead and get the ecto tokens. The ghosts that we need to collect will get definitely done by the time we get all the ecto tokens, just since we will be having to grind around 30 minutes, I think, for this quest to actually complete. Hello. Am I allowed to use XM? Yes, I've not banned myself from using gum on this account for reasons that I think I've laid out before. But basically, I didn't want the thing to just take forever. I wanted it to be more similar to feel how Ghost Sim actually plays. So I'm allowed to use gum. I will be using most likely a glitchy enchanted an enchanted X gum or a glitchy X gum to sell once we get around, I don't know, 10 million or so ectoplasm. Probably more than 10 million. I don't know, maybe like 25 million. But anyways, yeah, overall this quest isn't actually going to be, this quest isn't going to be too difficult. It does get a little bit harder as we get on. We'll need to collect souls, ecto bits, and then remnant coins at some point later in the quest, so it will get a little bit harder. But overall, it is still all going to be, I think the longest one is going to be about an hour of grind currency, which I will either do off stream if I get to it before, or we'll go ahead and just do it on stream. It is not that difficult to grind currency in Ghost Simulator. Yeah, I can't really blame you. It's definitely a side quest for a reason. If you don't collect a lot of limited event or promotional items, it's kind of a useless quest. But like, if you do have, like on my main account, I have 10, 12 events worth of items just sitting there that I've also traded to like an alt or whatever that I bought 500 storage on. It can actually help quite a bit to have 500 more storage on account, assuming you buy it with gems. But alright, I want to go see if we can find a Dino King. Because bosses are going to be kind of helpful. I'm not going to be doing races. I no longer need races to go ahead and progress in the game. I've already managed to get all the racing coin stuff, which was one of the things I got for 97% game completion last stream. So, don't really need the racing coins anymore. Alright, looks like someone already got the boss down for us. That's actually pretty helpful. The thing is, we're kind of waiting around for... Yeah, no, it is actually super helpful. I was going to say we're waiting around for another boss anyways, but no, we can go grab more ectoplasm from Beach in the meantime. Actually, talking about that, I think we're going to go ahead and set our teleport location to here, just so that we can go ahead and quickly get back, because how do you get the teleport feature? Blue Benny's quest in Remnant Zone, which is a quest that was added around 2 months ago, goes ahead and gives you the remote teleport feature. It felt a little bit weird when you first get it, or at least when it was first added, since it didn't have the hotkey. But now that it has the hotkey where you can click it, it actually does feel quite good. I was kind of worried that after releasing it, that was going to be pretty bad. People have been suggesting some changes to the world options. I don't know if I'll change that or not. It is... But, yeah, it could probably maybe use a few other improvements, like quick teleporting from the options menu, but I don't know. But yeah, you do need it level 30 to do it. NPCs will now tell you when you don't have a high enough antenna level. That was added in the update before this last update, I think. It was added at some point recently, because I know a lot of people were having trouble with Blue Bunny and Luna and a few other quests. I think Human is one, and then there's like 1 or 2 other ones that people always, just because of the location of it, it's kind of weird that it requires a certain level antenna, but yeah. Yeah, it really depends who you are for the bank. Like, some people, the bank is really helpful, like, if you are a collector like my main account is. But if you're a casual player that hasn't really played any events, it's going to be a lot less useful. And obviously, like, if you aren't playing as much, the quests are harder, too, because of how much currency collection you have to do, so... It's one of those things where the people it's less useful for, it also takes more time for, so I don't think I'd recommend everyone to do the quest. It is definitely case by case basis based on how useful it is to you. The one thing I like grinding in main hub for is like the basically infinite ectoplasm packs. With having a pack from like Remnant Zone or Ghost World, you can basically vacuum an unlimited amount of ghosts at a time, which is really helpful for currency grinding. And it just makes it a lot like better on your gum supply too. It's, I don't know. The more I play on this account, the more I appreciate that aspect of Main Hub, which definitely does do something to offset the fact that it does have a lower rate than other worlds. But it is still a lower rate, so overall it is not the best. Yes, bank will save when you rebirth, the NPC will save. The only thing is you will need antenna level 21 to... Well, you don't need antenna level 21 to access it. But the biome is going to be dark if you don't have antenna level 21, so it might take you a while to access it, so... Just don't put the high stat pets that you're going to need to grind up, which I don't think anything limited or event is generally what people use for stats. I think almost everyone will instead be using either Ghostly Vision or Classifieds or whatever, just since those are so much easier to get than event stuff. But yeah, just try not to store stuff and then soft lock yourself until you get up to until level 21 if you are planning on rebirthing. I think for most stuff it's going to be fine, but yeah, you won't be able to access it. But everything in it will save. You don't need to worry about losing stuff. I'm 99% sure that Rebirth will preserve it, and the other 1% is in case someone has some random thing that they added for resetting all random stats. But the way Rebirths work in Ghost Simulator is it will only reset the stuff that's programmed to reset. So, like, every single quest that you have to add, you have to manually make it reset when you players rebirth or whatever. It is... When's there going to be a new map? I can't really say anything about that. It's probably going to be a while. New areas, or at least the next new area, is kind of a... I wouldn't say a big deal, but it's a lot of programming. And a lot of other work that goes into it. How rich is Richard? He is rich. He is very rich. He's rich enough that he could open a bank. Does this quest reset with a rebirth? No. As I said, you have in Ghost Simulator you have to, or as a programmer, you have to manually assign, or I have to manually assign when a quest resets when you rebirth, and I haven't done that for a while because I don't feel, or actually most of it, just the quests don't fit well with rebirthing. But yeah, no, it's definitely something that people ask every single time an NPC's added. Generally, if something doesn't feel like it should reset, like for instance a new bank perk where you can store items permanently, or I don't know, perks sometimes you could argue they should reset, but yeah, generally it won't reset if you feel like it shouldn't reset. Is like, for instance, people ask about gum or pets or whatever. Nothing tradable ever will reset when you rebirth. I feel like that is literally just a law of how rebirthing should work. You should never be able to trade something to an alt and then trade it back to yourself after rebirthing. That's not how it works. How it should work. And then also, stuff for progressions obviously reset. Stuff that's limited, stuff that's event never will reset. You know. There's a lot of rules with Rebirth that's like fairly simple and straightforward, I feel like, to explain. Like anything tradable, anything limited won't reset. Anything that's required for progression will obviously reset. So I don't need an antenna 21 to access the bank, but I need an antenna 21 to unlock it. Yes, technically speaking, when the biome is grayed out, assuming you have the bank unlocked, you can go walk in and use the bank, even though it is a grayed out biome, just because of how it's programmed. Technically speaking. But I mean, you probably want antenna level 21 so you aren't using in the antenna area foggy stuff, because that can get really obnoxious really quickly. Alright, I wanted to go do a quick sell. Using a glitchy X gum just so I get a good idea of what I need. So I have 225. And I get... Oh, yeah, I'm done. Oh, I got almost exactly the amount I needed. Anyways, that was about 15 minutes of grinding for it, so... But yeah, overall, the later quest will start taking us around 30, 45 minutes for us to go ahead and get the stuff for it. No, I'm just surprised, like, it was, like, the perfect amount that I needed for it. Also, I think... Okay, I feel like every time I see these screens that they're, like, 3D, and I think they are, to some extent. I don't know. It's just, they always feel like they're popping out on me every time I see those. Anyways, let's go collect this quest, and then... Alright, next one is a pretty easy one. Just need to open any 40 board crates. We'll probably just go ahead and unlock something from the back door so I don't have to server hop. So, some of the quests are easier, some of them are harder. I think the last quest is one of the more difficult ones. It's probably not going to be the longest one on... Actually, yeah, it'll probably be the longest one even on this count with where we have... Also, I realize now unlocking 40 board crates is going to actually take a little bit of time, but... Hello. Yeah, yes, I think recently some, like, one week I didn't stream, one of the weeks I tried streaming and my internet was just horrible, so I had to stop it early. It's been off and on, honestly. Honestly, for the last 2 weeks I was busy with this update. The bank was not easy to program, or it wasn't quick to program, it took a lot more time than a normal update would take, so. What is the hardest question, Richard? I think that's going to be the last one. If you've got there, you know. Otherwise, I'm not going to spoil it, just because I think it's kind of cool for people to find out on their own. Any tips for Incinerator and how to maximize it? Using it daily for, like, the boss chest is good. Honestly, I feel like I probably should add some more stuff to it. It does feel a little bit lacking from what I've used of it, so there might be more stuff added to it in the future. We'll see if I ever get motivated enough to think of more stuff to add to it, but... Yeah, buying the stuff on a daily basis for cheap, and then also... I think one of the things that people have said is, in, like, Remnant Zone, if you're grinding Remnant Zone, what you can do is convert all the enchanted antenna parts you get to flames, and then convert the normal items you get into gum, and that can give you a pretty good ratio. That is really only if you are low on, like, loot gum. If you have, like, infinite loot gum, then there's really no reason converting items to gum. But, yeah. That's actually been in the storage way back from, like, when Ghostum first came out. That was music that B-Slick made for like the original Ghost World. It's actually on YouTube somewhere. I think if you search up B-Slick and then Ghost World or whatever, you will be able to find it. But yeah, it was some unused music from when the game first was coming out. Dark Thunder actually went through the process of figuring out whether or not we actually had used to it, and then going ahead and adding it to the game. So you can thank him if you like it. Anyways, we have like 10 more board crates that we need to buy. It's definitely slow unboxing board crates, but whatever. I could have pulled out the auto clicker, but for 40 crates, it's not really worth it. But yeah, also with the Incinerator, buying stuff with flames is going to be you're going to be able to get XP from converting flames to gems, but it's going to be a better rate for you to go ahead and use flames to buy items than if you're using flames to just straight into gems. So I think most people understand don't convert flames to gems. I feel like that's one of those things that people just instinctively don't do. Alright, there we go. 40 crates. It's definitely the most boring part of this quest. I probably should have just pulled down an auto clicker. It does definitely help to use auto clickers when you're unboxing. Anyways, 5 crate keys. Alright, for this we'll need to go ahead and convert currency. We'll go ahead over here. Actually, how much of this do we have? Alright, let's... okay, we have 2 million from there. We have... I think we have around... Oh no, we have around 30 million from main hub. We're going to be good. Let's go. I was trying to go through how much currency we had in all the worlds, but no, we should be good enough just to do main hub. I think Dark Thunder changed around an update ago. Oh, that didn't make it any better. But I think Dark Thunder changed it around an update ago or whatever, or to make it look more distinct from the other things, other teleporters or whatever, just to make it feel more remnant zoney. But yeah, it's just visual. It's just to make it look cool. Anyways, 250 items. We should be able to grab this pretty quickly here. It's like, you know, we're already at 41 and we've grabbed like 5 ghosts, so shouldn't be too long of a quest line. Or shouldn't be too long of a quest. But yeah, I expect us to get around halfway through this quest today. I'm expecting to stop somewhere like 8th or 9th quest. We'll see where we're at in 3 hours, or in 2.5 hours now. Alright, there we go. 28 more items to collect. There we go. I actually do kind of wonder when we're going to tick up to 97% again in our game completion. Because every time we do go ahead and unlock a new quest, it does bump up our game completion slightly. I'm wondering if it's going to take the entire quest, or if it's just going to take like half of the quest or something like that. No, I don't really do too much Roblox stuff. Anyways, pet crate 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, 10, and 11. 15 times each. I think for this we'll probably go ahead and pull out our auto clicker just so I don't end up taking forever on it. Alright, there's auto clicker. And that should be pet crit 8. I think that should be enough clicks. But yeah, I don't really do too much Roblox events. I mean, I do like the egg hunts, but the other stuff like the... I don't know. I never really was a fan of like RBB or similar stuff, so... Yeah, auto clicker is definitely the way to go when you're unboxing. Like, we're just... Even though this is more crates than when we had to go do 40 board crates, it's taking, like, less than a tenth of the time. Alright, there we go. On to quest 5. Alright, now I need to go do Ghost World. This will take us a little bit longer. 700 million souls is a little bit more than the 50 billion ecto tokens we got for the first quest, but overall we should still be able to do this within the next 30 minutes or so, maybe 35, but whatever. Are you talking about the code SPAC 3 or space with a 3, whatever? I know there's a few codes that have kind of been permanent in Ghost Simulator that kind of came a little bit more apparent recently. Alright, there's no grooming mini-boss. We will go ahead and just collect ghosts then for now for some ectoplasm. Oh, yeah, on the spaceship, yeah, that's just a hint for the code. It's been a code since the game came out 5 years ago, so it's been around for a while. It's been permanent since it was added, so I thought it would be a cool idea to just add little hints around the game, so if people stumble across them and realize what to do with them, that they can get a few cool things that have been around since the game started or whatever. I did slightly increase the stats of some of them, like Purple Pegasus and the Dave, I guess. Is it Dave? There's 3 different aliens, and they all have different names. So you have Dave, you have Bob, and I think you have Steve. I think think the space code is Steve. But they're all just 3 little alien dudes, and they just I can't ever remember which one goes to which source. I know 2 of them are pet crates, or are 2 of them pet crates, or is one of them a pet crate, one of them an event, and then one of them the code? Huh. I don't know. Anyways, but there's three different alien pets, and it's kind of hard to distinguish between them because they're really the only distinguishing feature is that they're different colors or whatever. So, kind of funny. Anyways, I think we're going to go fill up to like 30 billion. Feels like a lot. That feels appropriate. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and fill up to 30 billion ectoplasm and then sell with a glitchy excum. And then that should hopefully be enough currency to go ahead and get ourselves the 70 million souls we need. I do know the souls are going to be a bit more difficult to get than... Let's go do that. I wanted to go check on Musical Meadows, see if we can grab a few ghosts from there really quick, but I don't think this is actually a super efficient route to be swapping between those areas. Even with the auto teleport key, or quick teleport key, remote teleport perk. Is this game dead? I mean, if you consider 200 concurrent players dead, yes. But I think, like, okay, compared to, like, when it first came out, yes, it's dead. It's not hitting 1,000 concurrent players. But if a game never can hit, like, if everyone who developed a game that only got, like, 100 players or whatever, there really wouldn't be any games other than the biggest ones, like, ever that existed. And I don't think that's a good mentality when it comes to, like, creating a game or having a really, like, playing a game. Like, if you're only playing a game if it's popular, I don't know, that just feels like kind of I don't know, stupid, without a better way of saying that, because, like, then there's really no reason to play any other... If you use that argument on, like, a game because it only has, like, I don't know, 10 players, even if you find it fun or whatever, yeah, I don't know. It depends what you mean by dead. Some would say since it is lower player count, yes, it's dead. Others would say since it's getting regular updates, it's not dead. I don't know. Do you like playing it? That's the real question of whether or not a game is dead, is whether it still feels fun to play, in my opinion. And I think for some people, yes, it is dead. It's lost the appeal of playing. I think, like, you can see that with classified unboxing. Because of how easy it's been to unbox some classifieds, it's just none of the classifieds really feel really feel worthwhile to go grind for. So you don't really see people like, oh yay, I'm grinding for Monster Mushy or whatever. Like before, every time someone would unbox like a Prism or whatever, it would be like celebration, and now it's kind of just like, oh, cool. But yeah, then other people, they grinding for, like, I don't know, the newest quest or the events or whatever, and they still find fun in it. It did not get up to 7 million people playing, but yeah, when it first launched, I think it hit 100,000 players on the first day of its release, just because it had some really, it really just blew up on day one. I think they had influencers make content about it. The fact that it was a simulator during the simulator era of Roblox, where, like, 95% of simulators were just kind of weird or cash grabby, so that it was a good, sort of felt like a good game, and a bunch of trash games definitely helped. We are going to go find the Grim really quick, I think. But yeah. I don't think that's a plan to do voices for the NPCs. I think the way Roblox... I don't think Roblox likes too much voice line stuff in-game. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really looked into too much of what they like for games or not. But... yeah, okay. Thank you for a reminder to go grab Grim. I'm not paying any attention whatsoever. Once I start grinding Ghost for Ectoplasm, I completely forget that I was going to go do Grim. Fortunately, no one really on the server seems to be doing too much, so we can stag it anyways. And honestly, we have we have 100 event bait. So, yeah, we don't really have too many issues if we just need to go event bait 3 times in a row for Grim. It's... honestly, we should probably just do that right now, just to use it, just because, like, we're never running out of event bait on this count. I don't think we... okay, actually, that's a lie. We ran out of event bait for 3 events on this account, and that was right after we finished, or that was while we were, like, straight grinding for Yuwu and Gramps in main hub, and we were burning an event bait every single race that was coming up next, so, yeah, other than that, though, we've had plenty of event gum. So, not something we really need to worry about conserving. Honestly, I feel like people can use a bit more event bait. I think probably event bait should become a little bit more useful so people can actually use it, because right now, it's kind of weird to use it. I don't know. Like, you can use it to instantly get a boss or instantly get a race, but you still have to do it. So, I don't know. It just feels better to wait for bosses, in my opinion. But, anyways, here we go. We got Grim number 1 of 3. I mean, some areas like Ghost World and Backdoor or Void or whatever that don't really have 10 levels associated with them. It depends on what the zone is. I think the standard is going to be whenever there are main hub backdoor areas where it is kind of in 10 level progression, that it will be 10 and 10 levels, but yeah, we'll see. What's the easiest classified pet to get? I think, in terms of actually getting them, I think pretty much Rainwave, Twister, and Sunny, the classified pets from the first 3 pet crates, are about the same difficulty to get. I think the gems are just super easy to get. Maybe not super easy, but gems are easy enough to get that you can get the low amount that you need for those 3 pet crates with about the same amount of effort. And like, you do kind of need gum for any of them anyways, just because it saves so much time with unboxing. So, yeah, all 3 of those I think are pretty close to tied. Obviously, Rainwave, since it is the cheapest pet crate, and pet crate 1 is the easiest, but I don't think the difference in gem cost between those first 3 is actually big enough to actually consider them more difficult than each other. I think they're equivalent. In terms of, like, straight up rate from crates, it's going to be the developer classifieds, since those are 1 in 1,000 from a developer chest. The thing is, though, those developer chests are a lot harder to grind than the equivalent amount of crates for gems or whatever, just because it's a 15-minute per boss fight versus, you know, gems, which you can either, once you get good, you can get billions in a minute or whatever, so, yeah. It's not really a fair comparison to say that they're more easy to get just because they have a lower rate per crate, when you can buy tens of thousands, if not millions, of gem crates for the same amount of time investment as you can with the final boss crates. Grimm's Portal is pretty hard to get. I would personally... Okay, I have in the past traded for it. Like, you can probably trade a... Okay, I don't know if you can easily unbox classifieds. I know most people don't actually grind for classifieds, but yeah, honestly, it's really hard to grind for specifically it. One of the easier ways to get it is just to go grind for like a Sunspot or Sandstorm or some stat pet like that and then trade for it. The thing is, you have to find someone willing to do that trade, and I personally think like stuff like Gem Ship, stuff like Sunspot is worth less than Grimm's Portal and like Gem Ship or whatever, just because you have to get lucky to get those. But just because there are random people with it that do need the stat pets, you can generally do that trade pretty easily. Just make sure they are aware that you personally think that what you're trading is worth less than what you're getting out of it. But yeah, that's generally how I'd go about getting it. Getting it yourself is going to take quite a bit of time. Grimm's Portal is not an easy classified, or not an easy classified to get. Same thing with like Gem Ship. Oh, Grimspawn, thank you for that heads up. I believe, yeah, center here. What's the best vacuum? Best vacuum is the, what's it called? Time something or another in Remnant Zone. Who even cares? But the pack has a 50 billion pack size. The vacuum's like, I think 11,000? 11 million? I don't know. I honestly stopped keeping track of vacuums after Remnant Zone. Or after Void, I guess. Once you got a Remnant Zone, the Ghost Health just didn't scale. Just because of how the packs were interacting with like Main Hub and Ghost World and whatever, that they couldn't really scale stuff too well. So it ended up being this kind of an issue where, vacuum-wise, literally any player with like the Void set could get through Remnant Zone. Like, they would have no trouble with any of the ghosts there. But oh, someone spawned another Grim. We're going to give that a minute. And then we're going to go snag it. We're leeching off other people for this. But yeah, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Actually, yeah, talking about packs and vacuums, we do need to kind of buy some of these on discount. We have the second... Oh, no, we have the second best pack and vac. I could spend around 2 hours off stream at some point once I have time. I did not have... I know I said I'd do it between the last stream and this stream. I was busy with the update. I didn't quite have the time. Hopefully, I can manage my time a little bit better next week so I can actually do that. So, maybe not, since we will be working on Richard's quest. I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, let's go grab that Grim. But yeah, we can go ahead and... Going ahead and buying that pack and back will help a little bit for our progression goals. Actually, talking about progression goals, I've been buying some... I did this 3 times, I think. Yeah, 3 times. I bought the cheap boss chest from the... I logged in for 5 minutes or whatever, grabbed the cheap boss chest from the Incinerator, and then left or whatever for working on getting the mythical boss pets from these boss chests. So I think we're going to go ahead and open these. I'm not really expecting to get a mini pet at all, but that's kind of goal of... That's kind of the only other missing thing, big missing thing that I have for really getting more game completion. So we're going to go ahead and do that anyway. Yeah, okay, nothing. We do still have the Incinerator stuff that we can buy for this. Are there mythic pets better than the Glitch Ghost? I don't think so. I do know that I did buff Mini Remnant Guardian, but I don't think it's better than Glitch Ghost. I think Glitch Ghost is the best mythical. It's actually the same stats as a Rebirth perk pet, and it actually has slightly lower vacuum stats, if I remember correctly. Or is it slightly more vacuum stats? Whatever the case is, it has the same cell stats as the Divines, and that is pretty much the only stat that matters. As I was saying in Remnant Zone, specifically, in pretty much every other area, all, like, Remnant Zone specifically, like, the pets I have is enough to one-shot ghosts with, like, the 4th vacuum in the world or whatever. And, yeah, these aren't... Okay, I do have a Glitch Ghost for reference. But, like, even before I got Glitch Ghost, I was one-shotting most stuff. And that was, like, with atoms and, other cheaper stuff from places. So, yeah, it's not that hard. It's not something I would recommend counting as stats, vacuum stats. It's more important, really, to get the cell stats. I think we're going to hit 20 million and then... see about selling with that. So I think 30 million was what was a bit longer. I started playing the game in 2019. I would say somewhere around August, September-ish, so not right when the game released in May, but fairly close to the start of the game's release. I've been playing off and on for a while. Like, there are some years, like 2021, where I wasn't playing as much. I think I was still making videos, and that was like when some of my better videos came out, because I wasn't playing as much, so I put more time into actually doing stuff. And like this year, for instance, last year, I haven't really actually been playing too much on my main account. Especially now that I've become a developer. Last 6 months, I've done pretty much no progression on my main account. I've been super lazy about that, just because it is kind of weird with being a developer. I hopefully should just get back into that. It's something I do miss, is playing the game. Okay, don't get shoved off. But yeah, I've been playing for a while. The game came out in 2019, so Yeah, unless you were like a tester, question mark? I don't even think they had testers available to test in 2018 though, so yeah. I do know the dates are pretty easy to mix up. You probably played in 2019. Right when the game launched in 2019, like, honestly, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it's hard to remember which exactly year it was. And, like, the release date, I know for the game, Roblox does it when the game was created, not when it was released to the public, so you have a lot of time when the game was in development that the creation date kind of overlaps with, but I think the creation date is, like, December 20th or something, 2018, so it's very little time for actually having stuff done or whatever, but hello. Okay, I really want to sell soon, so we're probably going to get up to 15 million and then see about selling, because the weird thing about currency grinding is unless you sell once, you aren't going to know how much you need, so yeah. No, I mean, you'd remember if you were a tester, so alright, if we go grab a Grim... No, okay. Alright, that looks like a good health Grim. And then we can just grab a few more barrels. I want to get 15 million. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go see where this puts us. 343. That was about half of it. Alright, so we need to get 16 million more. Alright, cool. That's doable. I mean, that only took us, what, like 15 minutes? So another 15 minutes of grinding or whatever. We might hop over to private server. This server is getting kind of full. Yeah, okay, no ghosts. No boss ghosts to grab. Alright, we're gonna go swap over to a private server really quick, because there's a bit more people in there than when I started, so don't want to be fighting too much over. Oh, 332 active players. Wow. I don't think I've seen it above 200 in a long time, so that's a interesting number. Yeah, we're gonna go hop over private server. Blah 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 blah. You guys know the drill. We'll join my own private server and call it a day. Alright, here we are. Probably should have sold the 500 we had, but whatever. I think it really depends on who you are. I know, from what I was seeing in the Discord, at least, for Bloxbite, most, like, 70-80% of the people were saying that they liked the quest. Like, most people liked how the quest worked, how the uniqueness of it. And I mean, I like that since it was kind of my design for the quest structure, so that's good to hear, but yeah, it really depends on who you are. I know like, grinding currency is one of those things that I don't really like putting in quests just because it is so lopsided for who gets to do it. That's kind of why in every single one of these quests where you need to collect currency, I have a second quest. Just so partially related, like grabbing Graham, grabbing Spades Harbinger, because like grabbing currency is just kind of a pain sometimes. Like it just, you have the players with monster mushies and 200 rebirths or whatever, where literally any amount of currency you put, they'll get it done in a single ghost. And then there's other people like that literally have the worst possible pet stats, don't know how to use gum, and it's going to take them 5 hours to do the amount of currency that like you would think is, oh, that's reasonable. So for some of the currency quests, I kind of planned it out for like somewhere around a level where this account could do it, so it should be pretty well balanced. Like for this one specifically, I aimed just below the cost of getting airplane, which is something I was able to do with a little bit of work on this account. As you can see, we chilling with it there, but still enough where it will take some time to go ahead and get, just because, like, yeah, currency grinding is weird, but it should be pretty well for anyone who does get up to antenna level 30 and completes a few quests, because you should have blue bunnies, or you should be able to get blue bunnies. You should be able to get the thing from, okay, let me sort by active token boost. You should be able to get stuff like Aurora, which is from Queen. You should be able to get a few other decent pets for free, or pretty easily, that will help you progress. You should be able to have atoms. We do have a bit better than atoms at the moment, just since we have been these ghostly Dutchmans, but yeah, no, there's I can definitely see people complain about the quest, but I think no matter which quest you drop, like even the 109 tower quests for the Christmas and Halloween events, like, some people like those quests. I did those quests, but a lot of people just didn't like them, so, you know. I think one of the benefits of it is that it is kind of a lot more optional than other quests are. Like, side quests for like Blue Bunny, for instance, does not feel, okay, it wasn't it's been a side quest for a whole 2 weeks, but it feels a lot more required to do something like Blue Bunny. It feels a lot more required to do Agent Blaze, or Ghost Hunter Blaze, sorry, not Agent Blaze. Agent Blaze is required. Ghost Hunter Blaze is not. So hopefully that stands, and then the people who are annoyed by the quest can just kind of not do it or whatever. But yeah. I think if you're experiencing the stream buffering, that is on your end. I'm not noticing any internet issues on my end, so. And stream hasn't actually been too laggy recently, not compared to like when it first started. But yeah, whenever I first start streams, it does get a little bit laggy. I think it's just kind of computer adjusting to the new load or whatever. I think the goal was, what, getting 15 million? I think we're just going to go collect ghosts until we get there. I don't see a point in grabbing bosses just because they are quite a bit more out of the way. In a private server, it always takes around 2 minutes to go ahead and do a boss. In public servers, you can make the thing because you can just go leech off the last 15-20% of the boss and get a full pack. In private servers, it makes a lot less sense since you do have to do the full 100% of it. One of the things I'm actually surprised about, though, on this update is that more people haven't asked for some of the features that are included in the... Or, not yet, at least. I mean, the update's been out for less than a day. So, maybe they'll start flooding in later today or next week, or over the next week or whatever. But, like, asking for features that you see in the bank part of thing that you don't see in, like, the journal index. I know one of the things that I included in there was counts of how much stuff you have. It's like... It would show you have 17 out of 20 of the stuff from Halloween 2019 collected or whatever. Those numbers are not correct in any sense. But I'm expecting that people are going to be soon asking for a lot of that stuff. And while, yes, I could do it, I don't know. It's just one of those things that... Creating a new system is a lot easier to add stuff to it than a system that's already there. I think one of the things that I could probably do at some point, if a lot of people ask for it, is the hint overlay. So in the bank, in the storage of the bank, if you can actually go hover over pets and boards and whatever and see a name of it. And I think that's something that people have asked for in the journal for like pets and boards. Like just being able to see the name of it or whatever every time you hover over. I don't think I'll add that, but it is definitely one of those things that could probably be added. Anyways, about halfway there to the amount of ectoplasm I need. We've been here for like, what, like 10 minutes? Another 20 minutes. Or, sorry, another 10 minutes of grinding. Overall, not like a... Overall, it's kind of a longer quest, but it is still like... Some people are going to be able to do this in 5 seconds. So, yeah, it's whatever. And I mean, honestly, large scheme of things, this is not too bad. Especially since with these quests, you do get to keep the currency after you convert it. So it is one of those things that even if you like, even if it takes forever, you're kind of double dipping on the quest. Like, if you don't have airplane unlocked, for instance, for this quest, you can get 7/10 of the airplane unlocked just by doing the quest normally, and you'll have all that currency that you can just save a little bit more and then get a nice, cool board. At least that's how I see it. I know other people might just be like, hey, I'm just going to end up converting that currency to gems, and then it's just kind of bleh. But alright, 60% of the way there. Probably going to go up to 16. Yeah, we're going to go up to 60 million just to be safe. We have upgraded our pet slightly, so that should do a little bit to get us some more currency. I think the worst thing about this is that we don't really have any use. I'm pretty much going to have to do this quest all over again on my main account. Since I have... actually want to store some stuff on that account. I have collected a lot of event stuff. And so... it'll probably be something I do off stream, not do this whole quest again later this week or whatever on my main, but it will take a lot less time to do it on my main just because I do have better pets. Also, I don't know. It's definitely relaxing to be grinding ghosts. Like, the last time I remember grinding ghosts in Ghost World was for getting the... It was like 4 years ago, I think, for getting the ghostly hoverboard on my main account. which was a really big accomplishment back when we had no gum. And I did like 4 streams over the course of 2 weeks or something for like 5 hours each or whatever, and I just gotta go to the hoverboard. So it definitely reminds me of that. Some on a lot smaller scale, since like this is, you know, we have gum, we have better pets and whatever, and it just, I don't know. It definitely does remind me back of those days when, you know, grinding 20 hours for a pet or board or whatever just to unlock it was normal and kind of fun and relaxing. Like nowadays, if people can get Monster Mushy in less than an hour or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, why would I want to spend more than 2 hours grinding for something? Come on, game, just give it to me for free. I feel like is a lot of the mentality that's going around. But anyways, 2 billion more. Or I guess 3 billion more. So I'm going to 16. I mean, I like sugar. I wouldn't say I'm a popcorn fan. Like, it's not something like I actively seek out, but yeah, it's good. I mean, I'd probably give the same answer to like most sugary stuff, like, you know, Skittles or M&Ms or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's not something like though I'm like really love or whatever. I do eat it, but not super particular. Oh, hello. Hello, Jazzy. This is my cat. She apparently decided that now is the time to go interrupt the stream. Yeah, what is that, Jazzy? What's going on there? What are they doing? She immediately comes and curls up on my lap. Yeah, that's my cat. She is she loves to be in the way, and she also like loves just attention and just sitting on people's laps, like, and going to sleep. That is, she is definitely one of the cats of all time. Alright, we are getting pretty close to done with the amount of ectoplasm I think I need to go ahead and sell for. The big thing here is remembering to use XCOM, because if we forget to use XCOM, we're doing this all over again. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and sell now. I think we should have enough currency to get ourselves over. And there we go, 359. And yeah, now we can go head back to Richard and turn in the quest. Hello. You're 20 minutes before the update. Yeah, no, rebirthing before an update comes out is always something that people do, and it annoys them. I know I have this issue when like Easter, or not Easter, Halloween and Christmas events. I don't like to rebirth before this because I like to have like perks like the heavy armor, multi-streams, a lot of those perks for those events. So there's pretty much a whole like 4-month period from like October to February where I don't do any rebirths in the game just because I want to be prepared for those events. So yeah, it's definitely a struggle. The thing about rebirths, the thing about rebirths though is like you can kind of. Alright, I want to go check what currencies we have. We have 2 key drives, and that's it. Alright, looks like we are going to have to do a Great Guardian. Or I could buy a... Yeah, let's go do a Great Guardian, get a 3rd key, and then spend all those keys or whatever. Alright guys, going to add the bank to the quick teleport. Yeah, we probably should do that. There isn't a whole lot of use for that. I do think that it isn't like you're going to be grinding using the bank, but yeah, it's probably a decent idea to add. I know the clothing store has one, even though that's a similar story. It's just one of those things that stuff like that does get overlooked in updates. It's kind of... easy to forget. Anyways, we do need to open 3 Mega Boss chests. I'm going to use a gum just because. But yeah, we're going to go do a Great Guardian fight right now. Hopefully we aren't too laggy. I think to start off with, we'll go open up 2 crates. I do hopefully want to get the warp drive that we're missing from this crate or whatever. Since we have everything else from the crate, and so getting that one would actually be maybe not huge, but it'd be helpful for our journal index. We could just be like, oh yeah, we have everything completed from Great Guardian. Other than the mythicals, obviously, because the mythicals are a pain to get. It's actually funny just how much stuff we're missing in the index for pets. Like, this whole section is just not there. And yeah, warp drive we're missing these 2 boards, and then mythicals and that godly. So we're actually missing quite a bit of godly boards. Anyways, we're going to go do this boss really quick. This is going to take us 8 minutes or so. Again, ideally, we go ahead and spend this. Actually, I think I need to open some more Mega Boss chests, right? Okay, I can't remember if I have the quest requiring people to get more Mega Boss chests, so we're going to save the extra keys that we get from this fight for later and not just burn all 4 right at once. But yeah, hopefully in these key drives, we do end up going ahead and getting ourselves a warp drive. We'd have to actually get pretty lucky to get that, but that's the hope, so that I can call that complete. Also, yeah, that's sometimes just unavoidable. Is how it is. How hard is the Richard quest? It's a fairly difficult quest. It takes around 3 to 4 hours for a endgame player. It's going to take this account around 6 hours to complete. Again, a lot of it depends on how good your pets are, and then how good you are at like bosses, because it does require quite a bit of bosses. But overall, like, again, the quest is pretty good if you are a collector and you have a lot of stuff stored up from events and limited store items and whatnot. But if you are a like casual player, don't really play events, don't really have a point to store pets to go out and clean up your pet storage for unblocking classifieds, maybe it isn't as worthwhile to go ahead and do it. Again, it is a 3 to 6 hour quest depending on how good your pets are and how good you are at bosses. So whether you consider that difficult, that's up to you. I would call it a pretty difficult quest, especially recently where most quests are generally like hour-long quests are considered, oh wow, that's a quest. So, but then again, it is also kind of I think it's a perk that people like. Yeah. Oh, we're about to get hit by a laser. But yeah, we're about a third of the way into the quest, and we're about an hour and a half into the stream, so... No, don't laser me. So extrapolating from that, you can see it's about a 4.5 hour quest for this account. It's actually a little bit of an underestimate, since some of the later quests do get more difficult than this first few quests, but that's a pretty good way of looking at it, I think. Alright, last Mega Boss chest. Not warp drive. We'll go ahead, head over to Void and do bow a few times. Yeah, this will take around 12 to 15 minutes to go ahead and do bow boss 4 times. Not a super long quest, but might get a little bit tedious towards the end of it. Don't glitch out of the arena, please, Bospo. Rift Gum. Well, it depends whether it includes stuff that you have to, like Lucky Gum or whatever, or sorry, boosted gums that you can buy with Robux or get in the Incinerator. But yeah, in terms of normal gum conversion, it is going to be Rift Gum, which basically gives a few hundred times multiplier to the amount of gems you get, which is really good when you're opening loot bags or using gem chests. So yeah. Here we are. First boss bow done. Actually, I might do some more boss bow grinding on this account at some point. One of the things I do need to do on this account at some point, or maybe I don't need to do it, but one of the things I do kind of want to do is go ahead and grab the last board in the void board crate, because I am missing that for my index. It's actually one of the few things I'm missing, or maybe not few things I'm missing, but it's one of the easier things that I'm missing, along with some of these godlies. That is stuff that I can actually get. So this one, the warp drive, and then these two godlies are kind of the only boards that realistically I could get. The rest of these are kind of hard. Actually, this one's something I could get. These four I cannot. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is coconut and the most disgusting thing known to man, and 10 is like the absolute best of the best food in the entire world, I would probably rate popcorn around a solid like 7 out of 10. You can definitely do a lot of stuff with it. Like you can have savory popcorn, you can have sweet popcorn, which is the best kind, and then it's pretty versatile. The one thing it does have the drawback is it is corn based, which, you know how corn is. It's cheap-ish and, you know, kind of not very nutrient, but oh, that's unfortunate. I love how it just keeps doing the same attack, which you just avoid by getting on your hoverboard. It is because it's based off corn. The kernels that you go ahead and pop come from popping corn. So it does come from corn. It's just not the corn on the cob that most people are used to. It is a special kind of corn. Boop. Alright, 2 more bosses. We're halfway done. Okay, next quest is a quest that I've seen people complain about. If I remember correctly, it is 7... It's the 6 bosses in main hub, which should be actually pretty easy for the scout. Pretty much the same amount of time as like just the bow bosses of this one, not including the Great Guardian or whatever. But yeah. Oh, you just got Rainwave. Nice. Yeah, getting your first class fight is always pretty cool, especially if you get lucky with it. I know some people recently, like, it's not that hard to accidentally get like a classified while unboxing crates for like some quests. I know someone got a space shuttle when they're unboxing for Richard's 40 board crates or whatever, and yeah, it's just one of those things that can happen, and it's kind of cool when it does. So yeah, congrats. You were grinding for it, but yeah, no, accidentally getting Hailstorm is kind of crazy. We aren't going to make the cycle on this boss, unfortunately, so we're going to have to do this twice. Best classified pet is Monster Mushy in terms of stats. It has 1,450? 1,300? I think 1,300 vacuum stats and 475, 425 stealth stats. So, fairly good stat-wise. In terms of rarity, that would be Cloud Wave, which is the classified you can get from the Void Crate, or the Void Pet Crate from Boss Bow. So it's a bit harder to get, but ow, that was annoying. It takes a lot longer to grind. It has worse stats, but it is a lot harder to get than any other classified in the game. It takes, I think, 40 hours to go ahead and grind, assuming you buy 80 boosted event gums. So it's a pretty difficult thing to get, even if you are paying Robux or whatever to grind for it. I wouldn't recommend paying Robux to grind for it. Boss Bow is a pretty quick boss. But like if you are grinding without any of that, it takes 160 hours. It takes a ridiculous amount of time to grind for it. Even those numbers might be off. Okay, 7 Quest. I think 7 Quest is the one where I have to do one boss from one of every boss from main hub. I'm not exactly sure though. But I do know a lot of people have said Quest 7 was difficult, so we'll see what it was when we get to it. I do know some of the currency ones, depending on who you are, is difficult or not. Really just depends on where your pet stats are at, but whatever. You have to get 15 billion ectoplasms. Okay, so it's a currency one. Yeah, no, we're that's probably going to take us around 40 minutes. It's a little bit more difficult than the souls that we just got done with for quests 4 or 5 or whatever. So, but yeah, it is definitely one of the more difficult quests to grind for currency if you don't have good stats, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's going to be hard. If you have like pets that I have, it's going to take this count like an hour to do, which is going to be probably the rest of the stream. But no, it's still doable. It's not a crazy amount. And one of the benefits of that, like if you don't have the Bitbox hoverboard yet, you can actually use that currency since it doesn't get taken away after the quest is complete. You can use that currency to go ahead and buy it along with a few other bit token boards if you want. Or convert it to gems if you just want a few million gems. But yeah. Alright, there we go. We can go ahead and sell this, get our 5 gems, and then go back to Richard. Alright, there we go, done with quest 6. We're now just over, or we are now about a third of the way through the actual quest. It's probably more like a fourth, just based on the difficulty of the last few quests, but yeah. For this quest, we're going to be going ahead and using probably all of our glitchy XCOM and some of our basic XCOM. Let's go set our teleport option to Bloxbite HQ and see. Yeah, one of the benefits of this one is that we'll actually be able to keep track of how much time we need to spend. It's not going to be like Souls where we kind of just grind a lot of ectoplasm and then figure out, oh, okay, we need double this or whatever. We can kind of keep track of how much we're getting. Yeah, Quest 18 is definitely... It sounds a lot more difficult than it is. Like, when I was writing up the quest, I'm like, oh, this will be a difficult quest. And then I did the math on how long it took. I'm like, okay, that's actually not even that bad for a single quest. But no, it's a fun quest, I think. I think most people have said they liked it. Which is good, because it was not easy to design. Actually, it wasn't that bad. I think it took me about an hour and a half or whatever to design that quest. So... Alright, so we got... Based on the amount of currency we're getting from this, we need to do 30... So we need to do about an hour of grinding with gum. We have 10 gum right now, so we'll need to get a few more glitchy X gums, so yeah. Overall, this should be a pretty doable grind. I don't really listen to too much music, to be honest. I don't have a favorite song. I know that's boring, but, like, I don't. Anyways, because we do need more XCOM, it's probably going to take us probably around an hour and a half to do this quest. Again, a lot of it depends on how much I use the current XCOM or current glitchy XCOM I have versus saving up for new stuff, but we'll see. But yeah, this quest we'll probably finish up this quest, and that'll be it for today's stream. Which I think is a pretty good halfway point for marking this quest. It's... I can't... There is one more quest where we do have to collect some remnant coins. But I think it's about a similar difficulty to this one, and it's only one more currency collection. So we've already done 3 of the 4 currency collections. So, or once we're done with this, we've already have done 3 of the 4 currency collections. So the next stream, we should be able to get through the remnant one and then get through the other few quests that we have left. Oh yeah, the bug with the update dropped. Yeah, I was doing some messing around with how the perks loaded, because there's been weird bugs with the perks not loading correctly or whatever, and I thought adding a little bit of delay when I was creating perks or whatever would go ahead and fix that by allowing the server a little bit more time to go ahead and like update stuff. No, it just kind of broke everything by resetting people's movement speed to 1 or whatever. It was a bad one. Like, technically speaking, you could go toggle your movement speed, since it only applied to people who had either the premium benefit or the more agility game pass. You could toggle that one since that affected your movement speed, and it would actually fix itself. But basically there was no check, like right when it first set up a player's account to make sure player's speed got correctly set. So it was, even though, so the kind of had this, your thing thought it was at 1 speed rather than the 16 or 26 it should be at. So it was kind of a rough one. It got fixed, but yeah, it was definitely funny to watch people move around slowly. Alright, right now with this loot gum, we are trying to get as much glitchy X gum as possible. So I think once we finish up this gum, we'll be going ahead and go ahead and converting our items to gum. Hello. Alright, hopefully we can get a few X-Gum. Ideally, I get 20 X-Gum right here, so I have enough to go ahead and get all the grinding I need to get done for the ectobits. But most likely we'll get like 5 or 6 or whatever and be able to make a decent start. 3, okay. Oh, I didn't even convert my moon badges. Okay, no, I was like, that was a lot less than I was expecting. No, it's because I forgot my moon badges. Yeah, no, we'll just use these. Alright, that is another 3. Okay, that was the 5 I was expecting to hit. I was wondering why that number was just so low. Alright, with that, though, we should be able to swap back to Glitchy X-Gum. And then use this for the next next 30 minutes or so. We'll be able to use this, and then we'll be able to probably get another 5 or 6 X-Gum from the currency, or from the items we get during that time, and then yeah, we should be able to squeak it out. We'll probably need to use like 3 more loot gums or so, but for now we're just going to go burn through loot gums really quick. That was unfortunate. Yeah, no, you also have to bear in mind that I've been playing this count for over, what are we at? 3 times 44. I've been playing this count for over 100 hours, almost 150 hours. 130, like 140 hours I've played on this count. So, yeah. Just because it's like free to play, like. Doesn't mean it hasn't grinded a lot, so. Yeah, okay. One of the things, though, about this count, though, it's been playing through the game efficiently, like, making use of GOM, making use of good perks. It's not been, like, dilly-dallying with, like, random stuff that a lot of other people generally like to do. Because I kind of know how to play through the game efficiently, whereas, you know, most of the time people don't. Game's definitely one of those games that... Alright, we're going to go switch our teleport option to Agents HQ and then teleport, just to get here faster. Because, like, moving while I'm lagging is just not... Overcharge? There it is. Yeah, I have no idea why that overcharge just wasn't working for a solid 50 seconds. Yeah, a lot of this FPS is because I'm streaming. It is better when I don't stream. But I am playing on a lower end device. Or, not a lower end. I'm playing on a laptop. So, it is always going to be a little bit laggier. It's a couple of years old, like 4 or 5 years old, so... What does bank give? Bank will allow you to store some of your limited event or promo items. So basically stuff that you've collected from events or whatever, in a way that won't take up storage space on your main account and allow you to unbox better is like the main purpose of it. It also does provide some cool ways to organize what you've collected and see and display some of your collection. So it's, or not display it, but see what you've collected. So, but yeah, the big one is the more storage space it gives. It is a little bit more limited than a normal inventory. You can only store one of each item in there, but anything that is limited, promo, or event, you can go ahead and store. And there's a cap. It's a 50 cap to start with, but you can buy more with gems, which should be pretty easy for most players to get up to around 300 storage, or at least 200 storage. Fairly easy. How do you get the teleport options menu? You get that from Blue Bunny's quest in Remnant Zone. You need to get up to antenna level 30 to go ahead and access it. But it gives you the remote teleport perk, which it's a permanent perk. It doesn't reset when you rebirth. Neither does the questline, which allows you to basically select somewhere to teleport to and then teleport to it by either clicking the teleport thing or clicking C. Or if you're on a controller, double tapping the teleport itself thing. You know, it's pretty obvious how the controls work once you're playing on a device where it works. As I was saying, this quest will take us like an hour and a half to go ahead and do, so yeah, it's going to be a struggle. Like, I'm looking at how much we have progression-wise, and we're almost a fifth of the way there. But that means that we have to spend 5 times longer than what we've already spent. And, yeah, that's not... I have no idea why the overcharge just doesn't work sometimes. Okay, there it is. Are the bacon quests hard? Yes. They'll take around 3 to 6 hours depending on how good your pets are. Maybe even a little bit more if you have worse pet stats than this account does, but most people I'd assume have better stats than what this account is rocking, just because, like, if you don't, you can go grind 4 hours and get lucky cats. So, you know, generally lucky cats is what I assume new players to get for stats once they reach until level 30 or whatever. I assume you're talking about one of the biomes floors where it's just a string of binary. I don't think it does. I think it's just decorative ones and zeros, but, you know, I'm not the one who designed it, so maybe it does. One thing I will say, with the amount of spacing that it has, in like lone ones or lone zeros or whatever, I don't think that it is actually going to have any message, but I could be wrong. Generally speaking, the stuff I know for binary or whatever generally has equally spaced stuff with generally 8 ones and zeros in a row for making letters and stuff. Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty similar to what I have. So, assuming you have the 4th pet slot... Actually, you're doing better than me. Yeah, no, with those pet stats, you should probably be taking around 5 hours. Assuming you have a decent amount of XCOM, you'll need quite a bit of that to progress fast. But yeah, no, you should be able to make pretty good progress with those. You just finished Richard's Quest? Yeah, I noticed people were starting to finish that. I was yesterday or something. So, no, congratulations on that. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the perk. I do know one of the things with that perk that I didn't realize when I was coming up with the idea or adding it, but right before the release, I'm like, oh wait, this perk is going to be useless to like some people, and so hopefully the people that it is useless for don't spend too long trying to grind for it. But you know, it's gonna be what it is. Hopefully you do like it. I've realized that the fact that I can only store limited and promos sounds cool on paper, and was fun to implement, but does have a few things where people are like, maybe not. Maybe not the best. Yeah, the plan for the quest was to make it hard. It is supposed to be a pretty good perk and a pretty cool one at that. Hence the update got delayed because I was spending a lot of time on making the UI look good. But yeah, so the purpose is for it to be hard, but from what I've seen about people who have done the quest, which might be biased because the people who do the quest early and fast are generally the people that it's easier for them to do the quest, so maybe it's more difficult to like everyone else and that's too difficult, but most of the people who've done it so far have said that they like the quest difficulty and like the quest content and the variety of the quest, so I don't know. I'm thinking that's a pretty good sign of the quest being pretty nice, but yeah. Yeah, I think the icon on this update was super nice. Dark Thunder did a really good job. Like even when I first saw it and I was like looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a banger of an icon. And then when the update went out, it was like, it's Sunday night that the update's coming out, so it's like, yeah, no, it's a little bit later than our normal update time, so not going to have like the normals that generally update. But no, the game shot up and was like at 200 concurrent players for a while, and then this morning or whatever, when I'm playing, it's over 300. So the icon is definitely drawing in a lot of people who haven't played for a while, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, no, but I definitely can't blame people for switching games. I do that. Like, you grow bored of games. That's just how playing games works. You're going to... People are going to grow bored of Ghost Simulator, even if we do update the game regularly. Some of the updates are going to be smaller than others, and stuff people aren't going to like. And so they're not going to play for a while. But that I understand. That is fine. It's just... It's cool to see when people do come back because of an update. It's like, oh yeah, that was a really good update. It, like, I don't know. It's probably being recommended to more people. I can't say exactly why it's so big right now, but other than like icon looked amazing. Yeah, I don't think we're getting an overcharge in. Can we? No, there's no way we get there in an overcharge time. Yeah, that was in an overcharge. I think you can get a auto clicker for mobile. I don't know exactly how you'd go ahead and do that, but I think I've heard that people can do it. I want to go... No, we're not going to swap. So getting an auto clicker for mobile would help a bit. Again, you can probably only get it on Android with side loading. You might be able to get it on... It might actually be officially in an app store, but... yeah, that's pretty much the only way to unbox for classified. Otherwise, you're spending hours of time just unboxing for something people can get in 15 to 30 minutes, so... Yeah. At some point, I do plan on fixing some of the unboxing issues. Like, making it so that people can, you know, unbox fairly across all platforms, which is one of my goals. It's going to take a while to do that. It's not like... It's not like GoSim has enough players and makes enough money for me to make this a full-time job, so there's a little bit of things where it's going to be like, yeah, that's going to have to wait. So that's one of those. Yeah, you have to... Yeah, problems on iPhone. Yeah, iPhone is a struggle when it comes to stuff. I haven't used auto clickers on mobile. I'm assuming, based on what I've heard from others, like people in the Discord, do play on mobile and do have auto clickers, and kind of are like, hey, guys, you can get auto clickers on mobile. They are free, but I'm assuming you're going to have to look for it, and then obviously downloading applications or whatever from the internet. It's always slightly sketch. Make sure to be safe about what you download and whatnot, but... Feels like we're going a lot... I think we're going slower than what I was calculating at when we first started, just due to lag, so that's kind of a pain. I think I was calculating with more time in Agents HQ, which right now I'm kind of spending more time not in Agents HQ, which is kind of an issue when you are working mainly for ectoplasm. Tips about Remnant Zone? Use loot gum. Have a good supply of glitchy loot gum to get through it quickly. What's the best area to grind gum? The last 4 areas, specifically the last 3 that actually drop items other than the enchanted antenna parts, are going to be the best ones to go ahead and grind with. Alright, now that we've done a little bit more scum grinding, or a little bit more currency grinding. I think we should go convert our items to currency again. One more glitchy exum for glitchy loot. Probably we want to switch over to using a little bit more glitchy loot gum just to get a bit more items. As I said, we will be needing to get some more X-Gum to go ahead and make this work. So, taking a small break right now to go and do that will be nice. I don't actually think we're going to be able to get this quest completely done in today's stream. I like to make these stream even 3 hours long every single time. It's, I don't know, it's sort of become my habit, so it's what I'm aiming for, but yeah, we'll see. Any tips for getting better pets? Right now, the pet progression in Ghostum is it's so bad. Like, there is literally no, like, there's pretty much no in between Lucky Cats, Ghostly Vision Mythicals, and Sandstorms. There's no pets really in between those. So, yeah, it's kind of just a good luck, but if you don't have at least Lucky Cats and stats, then you can get those pretty easily by overcharging in backdoor in certain areas. I have a video on how to do it. Basically, you just overcharge in the spawn locations as described on the wiki, and you'll go ahead and get yourself lucky loot bags that you can go ahead and I'm so confused why the overcharge doesn't work like 95% of the time. Yeah, it's probably because of my FPS and lag, but I guess there's probably stuff that I missed in the vacuum stuff. I thought I was looking at the code, and like the actual code behind it is all actually correctly coded to not be affected by FPS, except for like the visual timer. But I guess I might have missed something that is affected by low FPS that doesn't allow you to overcharge potentially. So I guess I'll have to go look into that again, but yeah, whatever. On the quest, it says sabotage a boss. You know, what do you think sabotage a boss means? I try to get a little creative with the name of the quest so it isn't just collect 5 ghosts, collect 10 ghosts, or whatever. I try to get a little bit creative, but yeah, it's yeah, vacuum. It's just the same as vacuuming, collecting any boss. It's the exact same under the hood. I just was being a little creative with naming quests, which. Wait, you make the quest sometimes. For this quest line, I structured how I didn't structure the quest, but I kind of balanced how difficult they were. and adjusted like the amount. So the specific quest types aren't my thing, but like some of the wording and the amount is me mostly. But yeah, all the lore, the structure of the quest itself, like the title of it, that's commissioned out to other people. It depends who you ask. I think, like, just one-off, actually, no. One-off quest, it's going to be the one of either Green Knight or Riley, which were event quests during the Halloween 2020, or Halloween 2021? 2022? During Christmas 2021 and Halloween 2022, I think. I think that's when the quests were out. That required you to go do 109 towers in their quest. So that was basically 1,000 minutes or 20 hours of grinding for either of those quests. Their last quest was 30 towers, which again is around 5 hours of grinding for a single quest. So those probably take the cake for the hardest quests. Of course, they aren't in the game anymore, so that probably falls to this recent Richard's quest for the last quest of his. Just specifically because it is kind of a lot of stuff, but yeah, what a pain. Yeah, but it was for event items, so it wasn't like it was required for people to do. They could just kind of opt out of them, but so some people still did them like I did them. I have the stuff for that on my main account. Proof that I did grind those events. But yeah, it's kind of funny though, because like the event rewards aren't actually worth that much just because no one's really looking for them. If you started looking for one of those like Riley's Cloud or whatever, you're going to have to pay quite a bit to actually get one. Like probably a dev classified, I'd imagine. Because it was hard to get. Maybe not quite that much, but you're gonna have to spend quite a bit to get one. But it just has no demand because no one's really looking for it, because most people who got it generally grinded for it, and then some people actually paid Robux to go ahead and skip those quests, which is probably worth it for them. But yeah, it was they were quest lines. They were definitely pets and boards that are probably worth more than what the economy has it at. So PTSD from those quests. Yeah, no, they definitely. There are people to this day. Everyone understands when you say 109 in Ghost Simulator. It is kind of funny. Anytime 109 is brought up, everyone knows it. Or maybe not everyone. People just know what you're talking about. You're like, yeah, no, thank you. I became a dev January. There it is. So I've been basically dead for the last 6 months, 5 months. And I only do the programming in GoSim, so okay. I do a little bit of art and not art, but visuals, like the stuff that spins for like pets and boards. I can do that. Animations I can do, or can do. But I've done some animations, like the Lucky Cat boss. I did the animations for that. Visual effects in the bank. Yeah, I can do some visual stuff, but most of the stuff I do is the programming aspect, which is going to be most of the back end, programming how stuff works, like adding quests, adding pets and boards, all that stuff. What would you say the greatest achievement is in GoSim? Honestly? Probably grinding for Ghostly way back in the day, 4 years ago or something. Back when it was difficult to get. I spent like 20 hours and I was one of the first 100 people to go ahead and get Ghostly. So yeah, that's a pretty good achievement. What is Ghostly? Ghostly is the mythical board that you can buy with with souls from Backdoor. Right now it costs pretty cheap. 3 glitchy XCOM, perfect. Actually, I can go show it right now. It is this hoverboard. But back in the day, it was actually really difficult to go grind for, since it did kind of... You didn't have gum, you didn't have the overpowered pets that we have now. As I said, it took me like 18 to 20 hours to go out and grind for it. But yeah, it's pretty difficult. It's like, I don't know. It's like similar to Diamond Claw-ish in how difficult it is to get, where like 15 rebirths, you guys look at it, you're like, whoa. That was sort of what Ghostly was back in the day, where it was like, whoa, you have a Ghostly? Now it's kind of like, meh. Who even cares? Give an alt 3 monster mushis and play for 2 hours, and oh look, I have another Ghostly, woohoo! But yeah. I mean, it's not super easy to get but for like end game players or middle game players or whatever, it isn't the hardest thing to get. It's not like 15 rebirths or whatever, where you're like, oh yeah, 15 rebirths. I'm not doing that on a new account. For rebirthing, Blaze is so annoying. The thing is about rebirthing, like, something is going to have to take time. Like, I understand server hopping. Actually, server hopping is one of the worst things for Blaze. That's something you're valid to be annoyed at. I know if you have good Wi-Fi, server hopping is like boom, boom, boom. But like if you have bad Wi-Fi, it can take minutes to transfer servers once, and then you have to do that a lot for Blaze. It can get pretty bad. But sorry if that was a little bit loud to snap. But yeah. No, server hopping is obnoxious. It is one of the things that I would consider removing. I do like the length of current rebirths. I don't think rebirths should be made quicker. I think they're at a good level as is. I think, if anything, a little bit longer, which I know is going to annoy people if I do make rebirths longer, but I probably will anyways, because I don't actually care. But yeah, no. But cleaning up some of the inconsistencies is something I do want to do. I think next update is going to tackle some issues with rebirthing. And probably get a few people annoyed again, but I don't actually care, to be honest. Like, I think the changes are necessary. You guys can go cry in a corner if you guys want to, but yeah. But yeah, no, in terms of length, I think it's alright. In terms of server hopping, no. In terms of having to do 21 bosses for Yoka, I think there's an argument to be made that it should be diversified a little bit, which is sort of the plan with the next update, don't worry. But yeah, no, in terms of time, though, I think... I don't think there's any reason to complain about it being too long. I feel like it's a bit shorter. A bit too short in most respects, but yeah. What is the bank? The bank is a new area that was added in the update yesterday to Ghost Sim. It's not even 24 hours old. Basically allows you to store... limited events and promotional items that you've collected over your time in Ghost Simulator that won't take up space in your inventory and will allow you basically to unbox better is one of the goals of it. It's going to be pretty helpful if you're planning on unboxing classifieds or if you have like a large selection of like event items that you've grinded for. It's pretty helpful for that. Yoko's so annoying. Yeah, I mean, it's annoying that it's all bosses, but like in terms of time, I like the way Yoko works with time, is what I will say. It is balanced for pretty much no matter who you are, you're going to be taking a consistent sort of time. Whereas if it was something like grind currency or even grind ghosts or whatever, it's a lot... To make it a consistent 2 hours, you're going to have to add a lot of ghosts and currency collection that new players aren't going to have fun with. Whereas with bosses, it's kind of annoying to everyone. What would you say the best questline is? As in good reward, good difficulty, and length. I'm not going to do bias and choose some of the questlines I've been adding, but I think Rowan is a pretty good questline in terms of difficulty. I think, like, the overchargeability and whatnot, I think Backdoor in general, like, the quests in it are very well balanced. It's pretty consistent time to complete each of the quests, and it's not, like, super annoying for a new player to do it. Like, you know, with the main hub, it used to be the case that, like, new players doing those quests took longer than, like, a new player doing a backdoor quest, and it was just, it was pain. But yeah, now it's a lot better with main hub. But yeah, some of the perks, like the hoverboard, for instance, unlocking the hoverboard is super easy because it is the first quest in the game. So it's not like a great difficulty to reward, especially since it is one of the best perks in the game. What is the best perk in the game, in my personal opinion? As I said, hoverboard I think is the best perk in the game. Again, if we aren't counting that one and we're just looking at all the other perks, probably Ghostly Vision, the Rebirth perk. Like in the game. If we're talking about including game passes, then it's obviously 2x items or gums or whatever. I don't generally count gums as perks though, but 2x items is just broken. Good. It probably should be nerfed. I'm not going to nerf it. I've thought about nerfing it in the past, and I've talked about nerfing it. I realize now it's kind of a dumb idea. It's bad, but nerfing it is much worse. And I can shadow nerf it by buffing other stuff. Yeah. Don't worry about that, guys. It's going to be just as good as it currently is. It's just other stuff might become better or whatever. It's fine. But yeah, no, that would be it. Ghostly Vision if you're counting just perks that you or hoverboard if you count it as a perk. Ghostly Vision if you aren't counting hoverboard as a perk. That was it. And then if you are counting game passes and other stuff, or game passes or gum, then it's going to be loot gum or 2x drops or whatever. I think the hover, or I think some of the mobility ones are slept on, like more agility and jetpack, for instance. Like most people are like, hey, I don't need more agility. I've said this in the past. I've literally said in the past, more agility is useless because you have hoverboard in jetpack. I was wrong. More agility is one of the best game passes in the game. It is so good. Just to have a little bit more jump height, just to have a little bit more movement speed, it is so good. But yeah, same thing with like quick unbox. Quick unbox, people are like, oh yeah, I've said this in the past. I've said you don't need quick unbox because you have auto clickers. No, the way that quick auto unbox works, or not auto unbox, quick unbox. Auto unbox is useless. It used to be worse than useless. It's now just useless. But yeah, the way quick unbox works, it actually works well with an auto clicker. It speeds up the refresh time. It is super nice. So no, those quality of life game passes are definitely slept on in terms of how good they are. But yeah, no, there's a lot of good perks in the game. Yeah, magnet is, I mean, magnet's a perk. I wouldn't consider it a top tier perk just because I've done Rebirth without magnet before. Back when the permanent magnet wasn't a thing, pretty much if you were speed running Rebirth back then, you wouldn't do the actually, let's do a little bit of grinding with some loot gum. You would actually not do the Jesse's quest just because it took so much time. Back before it was nerfed. I think now if you're doing Rebirth, obviously you just grab permanent magnet, but even if you're like doing Rebirth, it might be worthwhile to grab it. I still don't think it is, but it is more of an option than it was before. But yeah, no, yeah, and like you do Rebirth fine without it. You just go pick up the items. It wasn't. Sometimes you'd forget, but like it doesn't actually save as much time as you would think to automatically pick up items. It's just a nice quality of life thing. I still even think if you're playing on Xbox or other devices that don't have auto clickers or whatever, like you can technically get an auto clicker on mobile, as people have told me in the past. But yeah, if you aren't using an auto clicker, like there, even with auto unbox, you're not competing with people with auto clickers. You're just not. You're going to take 20 times longer to get a classified and it's going to be 20 times longer of not having fun. Which character looks the best? I don't really care too much about how NPCs look, to be honest. I haven't really paid too much attention to how they work, but yeah. Yeah, no, I can't say which one looks the best. In terms of which one has the best pet and boards, I think... Okay, I might be a bit biased because it's purple, but Riley's Clouds, and I can't remember what the other one was, during the, I know I mentioned this already, but Christmas 2022's, the 109 Tower Quest, it gave a purple cloud hoverboard and a purple cloud pet, and they are really cool looking. Again, that's an event thing. I don't know too many people that would count that. In terms of stuff in game at the moment, probably best looking pet. Blue Bunny is super cool looking. Oh, and Clockwork. Oh. Yeah, no, those are cool looking. No, Phantom's Clockwork is a really cool looking board. That's probably the best quest board in the game, in terms of looks. I can't think of anything better than that off the top of my head. Yeah, in terms of pets though, it's Jax's, what is it called? Jax's pet might be high on there. What's it called? I keep wanting to say 40. It's not 40. It looks similar to 40, but it's not 40. 40 is the limited pet that came out at a similar time. Fifth quest right now. What's the sixth? The sixth is I believe 3 mega boss chests and 4 times doing bow boss. So you know, it's a quest. Hopefully you do have key drives stored up for that quest, but yeah. But yeah, no, the quests do definitely get a little bit easier. They're a little bit hard at the beginning, and they become a little bit easier. I think from 8 to 18, there's only really one more currency collection quest, which is what most people are going to spend a lot of time on. Don't want to do Blaze? Yeah, no. If you aren't up to antenna level 21, and you haven't done Void or whatever for it, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, no, 7 and I think 10 or 11, there's a remnant coin later on, which will be a little bit harder than it, are going to be difficult ones for people. Currency collection is always one of those things, though, that kind of hard to balance, so just stuck with something I knew would be kind of difficult for this account. But yeah, no, it's definitely difficult quests. It's worth it if you have event items. This count does not have event items, as I pointed out at the beginning of the stream. I literally have 0 promotion, 0 event, 0 limiteds on this count. So it's kind of useless for me to unlock this bank. But it's still something that I need for 97% gaming completion. Actually, talking about 97% gaming completion. Yeah, nope, not there yet. But yeah. Sorry, how many key drives? I don't know what you're talking about. 3 key drives just to unbox 3 mega bosses. It's you can do it at the time. It's not going to. It's literally 1 boss. So opening the mega boss chest isn't an issue. Bow isn't too much of an issue. It's about a 30-minute quest if you don't have stuff done. But yeah, it's any Mega Boss chest, so you can use Great Guardian, you can use Remnant Guardian, you can use Blockspite HQ, whatever you want. You can even unbox 3 250 mythicals if you wanted to for that quest. Yeah, I probably... how hard do you find rolling classifieds in the Remnant world? I would spend, I think, around 3 hours to get enough currency for a sandstorm, and then about 20-30 minutes unboxing for a sandstorm, so about 3.5 hours to get a sandstorm for my main account. On this account, it would obviously take more like 200 hours for the currency, because I don't have good pets, or game passes, or any of the stuff that really helps on my main account. But yeah, it really depends on how good your pets are. Let's equip this. What is this frame rate? This frame rate is called playing on a laptop while streaming. It is rough, and it is whatever it is. Actually, no. At some point, I do want to upgrade my PC, but I don't know the process for upgrading my PC. So people are going to complain about no matter. I can already tell you right now. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, this is how I upgrade my PC, and people are like, oh, you did like everything wrong. You're supposed to buy from this company and then mix match, build it all yourself. You're not just supposed to buy a pre-built one. Come on, what are you thinking? Why are you running Windows on it? Yeah, all the stuff. But yeah, no, at some point I do want to get a better gaming setup for that, so we'll see. Yeah, no, with that method becoming viable, it is definitely a good way to go ahead and get gems for class fights. The thing is, you do have to go get a Rift Gum, which is, I will say, Rift Gum is hard to get, so the fact that it is easily usable is definitely nice. It might be a little bit too good, but I don't think so. I think it's fine. But yeah, no, I am the developer for Ghost Simulator. I'm programmer for it, so balancing new features, like the entire bank UI, that's all me. But yeah, no, it's a lot of the stuff that people usually care about, though, is how stuff looks, and that is all Dark Thunder, which is good on him, because a lot of the pets and boards look super sick. I think Sunspot was Heat Flare with Sunspot. No, the previous godly pet. He said he just Frankensteined it together and looked awesome. Yes, I am in the credits. I changed these around a little bit. I probably need to change them around a little bit more. But yeah, current team programmer me. Creative lead and modeler, Dark Thunder. Team manager is Jonas, or Nogus, is his Roblox account, because that's how these are done. And these are all the other older people. Former developer. This is the 5 original developers. Goro, Maki, Koven, Diddy, DXE. Last 3 have left have left Bloxbite in general. These 2 are still working on Bloxbite, just on different games, like upcoming games. And then these are other people that contributed. Beastlake does all the music, or maybe not all the music. Done a lot of the music for Ghost Simulator. I don't know what Naniel does. He's on here because he's been on here, and then Misty Phantoms does a lot of the 2D art stuff. What's my goal for this count? I have kind of lost track of the goal. Right now the goal is to complete this NPC, but I think the goal at one point was to get up to maximum game completion percent. So we're probably going to be trying at some point to get up to 98% game completion, and then Rebirth. But yeah, 98% game completion. It's kind of just playing through to see how it played as a free-to-play game on this on Ghost Simulator, so I had a good idea of like how to balance stuff, because like it is so nice to be able, like with this quest, to be able to be like, hey, yeah, no, these quests take around this amount of time to do if you have these pets. And people are like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. That's actually pretty good. What does sabotage a boss mean? Just defeat a boss. I got a little creative with naming some things. I probably should have, like in testing, people were asking what it meant, and it was like, yeah, I felt like it would be pretty obvious. Like, you know, how it works with... It references a boss, so you just go do a boss or whatever. And I feel like if most people are doing it in a vacuum, that's what they'd end up doing. But yeah, no, it's definitely something that people do ask about. I maybe shouldn't have gone that creative with changing up how the quest is called, so that's kind of on me. Ghostly Vision pets were never in the index. But yes, I did remove the classifieds from the index just because they aren't really something that should ever really be in there. Okay, that's alright. That'll never not get annoying. I'll try to patch that soon. It is obnoxious to not have the overcharge. System cleansing of the boss. Yeah, no, you just... Alright, there you go. 59. This should get us 3 more. 3 more? That's... whatever. Always thought they're in the index? No, they never were. But yeah, classifieds shouldn't be in the index. There was actually accidentally a sandstorm in the index for a while. That got removed. It's kind of funny because, like, the first classified that people unbox is just the random stuff. There are so many classifieds in the game that even though, like, Feathershock and Rainwave are the easiest ones to get, I don't think I've met someone where Feathershock or Rainwave is their first classified they got. My account, I think I got Feathershock first for boards. But for pets, I got Zing first because I had the gems for it. It's just the weirdest things though. But I would guess, I don't know, let's say, let's call it board, and let's do, let's see. I don't know. Let's say Oblivion. Yeah, let's go with those. But yeah, no, it's the randomest stuff that people unbox first. It's like, people are like, oh yeah, I randomly unboxed a Vex flower. It was like, wow, that's cool. S. So it's gonna be Sunny. That's the only one that starts with an S. Actually, no, Sky Server also starts with an S. Yeah, probably Sunny though. You unbox more pet crates than you unbox board crates, so even though like boards are technically easier to get, people end up getting the pets actually more frequently just because they're unboxing more of them just for the quests or whatnot, or stats. Is it worth the time? It depends where you're at. If you played a lot of events and have a huge collection of events or limiteds or whatever, then it's worth it because then you can offload some of your inventory and actually unbox. So like my main account could deposit, like, I could fill up the bank like 2 times and still have extra event stuff. But yeah, if you're if you're a casual player, you don't have, you haven't played too many events, it's probably not worth it. Again, a lot of it depends on where you're at in the game. I've said this before. But yeah, no, being able to store stuff is definitely something people have asked for a while. And I think the way it works is kind of cool. But yeah. Yes, you no longer need to buy the the starter pack for 100% game completion, which was one of the things I did first in some of my updates. It was kind of funny. It was like my third update. I'm like, no, I am going to go figure out how to remove this from 100% game completion, because that should not be the case. Same thing with a few other of my pet peeves with the game. It's kind of funny. Like, people joke about becoming a developer just to fix a bug or whatever. Like, there's that meme where someone became a, applied to a job, went through the whole hiring process, logged on, fixed a single bug, and then submitted a 2-week notice that they're leaving the company. I know it's a meme, but you guys might not know the reference. But yeah, no, it's definitely true about Ghost Simulator. There's been some things that I've wanted fixed that were priorities for me to fix, like main hub progression, adding a little bit of distinction between quests so that people can figure out which ones to actually do correctly. Which actually, let me know if you do actually like the organization of quests into side, infinite, and main quests to more easily figure out which ones to do. Because I do know that I thought it would be a really cool idea, and then when it first released, I was like, maybe it isn't as useful as I thought. And then I saw people like I don't know, a week ago, and someone was like, oh yeah, I'm just doing main quests, and I'm like, yes, it's actually people are listening to the organization. And it was like super cool to be someone be like, yeah, no, I'm just working on the main quest. It's like, yes, people notice that there are main quests and side quests. But yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things I'm still on the fence whether it was actually a needed change. I'm US. I'm an American. Yeah, Washington. I live in Washington State. So, very generic. Nothing interesting. I'm not like, you know, European or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, that's a cool ethnicity or whatever. But yeah, nope. American, very boring. I would recommend doing tycoons first. It's really up to you. It doesn't, in the long term, if you plan on getting Toll Mount, it doesn't matter which order you get it in. But I would recommend getting your tycoons first, just in the off chance that you decide to stop rebirthing, you grow bored of rebirthing. Because the 30% that you get from tycoons is a lot better than the 5% you get from Pet Evo. And you don't really need the vacuum stats from Pet Evo. Alright. We've done about 2/3 of this quest. It's taken about an hour and a half to do this. Again, this quest was a little bit harder than I thought it was. That being said, we do have 10 billion octobits, which unfortunately we've already bought Bitwing, or the, what's it called? Bitbox? There it is. We've already bought that, so we can't just go buy that with the currency we've grinded. And we get like 0 gems from converting all of this. Like, look at this. We only get 71 million gems. That's... Yeah, we could just log in with a gem gum and get a billion or whatever. So, yeah, kind of useless. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. Actually, no, we're going to go grab a boss really quick first to get the Sabotage a Boss quest. And then we are going to go ahead and end the stream. I think this is enough grind for today. Next stream, we should be able to go ahead and finish it up. We do have a bit more grinding, like Remnant Zone, for instance. We'll have to do some grinding there. Actually, how much did I think, actually, what we're going to go do, we'll see, because I think I'm going to have to do some off-stream grinding for the remnant currencies. Otherwise, it's going to take like 2 hours to do that all, which I guess would be okay, but whatever. How many hours do I think I'll play Ghost in total? I think I'm close to, I would say somewhere around 2,000 hours, maybe more. It's hard to track. I don't have a good way to track that, but I think 2,000 hours is a might be a little bit. I think 1,000 to 2,000, somewhere around there. It's a lot, but it's like if you compare that to like a full-time job working 50 weeks a year, 40 hours a week, that's already 2,000 a year. Yeah, I haven't even spent a year of full-time job working or playing Ghost Simulator, so some respects that's low, some respects it's pretty high. I didn't add the TP feature. The TP to NBC feature was added over a year before I became a developer for Ghost Sim. I've only been a developer since January, so a lot of some features like mega bosses, for instance, I've not really added a mega boss to the game. So, but yeah, from the Netherlands, nice. You know, it's definitely funny. It's like America. It's like, oh yeah, you're American, whatever. It's just a huge thing. It's kind of, you can be from the East Coast, you can be from the West Coast. You can kind of tell the difference, but like you're like, oh yeah, they're American. And then Europe, it's like, oh yeah, each specific country. It's like, most of those countries are smaller than U.S. states, and it's like, oh yeah, and they're all different. Whatever. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for today's stream. I think I'm going to finish up the rest of this quest off stream, and then I'm going to go check what other quests I have to do for it. And then see if I should do any other stuff off stream, like getting up to and like halfway through a remnant coin grind, or if I should just continue to on stream next week or whatever. But yeah, with that, that is going to be the end of today's stream. Quest is a little bit more difficult than I was anticipating. I was expecting around a 6 hour. It looks like it's going to be more like an 8 hour, which again, not too much of a difference there. But yeah, overall, pretty fun questline. It's not going to be very helpful on this count, but it is needed for us to get up to 97, back up to 97 or potentially 98% game completion. So we are going to continue working on it. Thank you guys for coming out. Hopefully you guys do enjoy these streams. I should have a video in the next few days out on the update, because it did come out a little bit later, so I wasn't able to do it before the stream on my normal update video. But hopefully that'll be out later in the week. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.